TIFU by not hiding my toy well enough. I, 20F, have been out of state for a little over a month to be an in-home nanny for my cousin. It was very last minute. My uncle begged me to help my cousin and travel over 1,000 miles away to care for her 3 kids. I accepted, and I had a great time. When I packed, I wasn't particular about leaving my room any type of way. I just packed and left for the airport. I still live with my mom and stepdad, and I have naughty stuff in my room, but not in obvious places. Well, today I returned. I received a warm welcome. Then my mom says, "I'm sorry, but Frank, my wiener dog, found your toy and brought it out. I just put it in the corner of your room." I froze and was completely mortified. The toy in question was a purple suction toy, and when I looked in the corner of my room, I cringed and shrieked, and I haven't come out of my room since. My dog had my naughty toy in his mouth like it was one of his bones, and I'm traumatized. I hate it here. Today I messed up thinking my ex gave out my number. My ex and I are both from a small town and moved to Austin, TX. When we broke up, he moved back. Small towns can be petty AF. And I still had my hometown phone number. Cue the fuck up. After we broke up I started getting a lot of spam calls. And particularly one number that would call an ITDB silent till they hung up. I figured one of two things was happening, either my ex got a new number and was doing this to annoy me, or had written my number down in bar bathrooms to get revenge. Both things he absolutely would have done. So one day, I got that call again. It had a bad day already and was in the middle of trying to clean/decompress and didn't need this shit. So I answered the phone screaming. Approximate transcript. Me, God damn it, who the fuck is this? Why do you keep calling me and not saying anything? Ex's name, if this is you I swear to fucking God if you don't quit this shit, you get the gist. Lots of cursing, and I'm not exaggerating when I say I was screaming this into the phone for several minutes. Caller, hello? Hello? I'm so sorry. My grandkids got me this phone and I still haven't figured out how to use it. It keeps calling people by accident. I'm really sorry. Readers, when I tell you my heart dropped into my stomach. I felt so bad. I still do, all these years later. I apologized and explained myself and apologized again. We had a quick short chat. She reminded me a lot of my own past on grandma. Broke my heart. I never got another call from her again. I hope she is doing okay. Today I messed up by assuming I saw a mannequin. A few weeks ago, I, 27F, was at Mark's work warehouse with my boyfriend, 27M, and there are a lot of mannequins there. I have an irrational fear of mannequins. When I was a kid, I had to shield my eyes from them. But now that I'm older, I'm better at not reacting or acting on the little fear spikes I get from looking at them. I cope with various tactics. Anyway, we were near the front, looking at root stuff, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw a figure about 3 feet away from me, partially hidden by more shelves. I mentally registered it as a mannequin and distracted myself with what else was around me. Then, God, I feel so bad, when the mannequin moved, I actually shriek-yelped. It only lasted a split second. I'm crying while writing this, not sure if it's out of amusement or embarrassment, but it was loud enough to make the entire store go completely silent. The poor woman, around her 20s, was looking at me in shock. I knew I had to explain why I reacted like that, so I immediately started apologizing and said, "It's not you, I promise. I'm so sorry. I saw you only out of the corner of my eye, and I assumed you were a mannequin. I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. I promise you don't look like a mannequin. I'm so sorry." She said it's okay and seemed taken aback, possibly slightly amused, hopefully. I went over to my boyfriend, who was looking at me with a mix of shock, amazement, and amusement. He said it was funny, and I'm almost at the point where I can appreciate the comedic value. God, I feel so bad. I really hope the poor girl knows it wasn't her, it was me. Today I messed up by masturbating with a bubble wrap tube and my dad found out. So this happened 2 hours ago, and I'm hiding in my room typing this right now. My parents are quite strict on masturbating, and being the horny-ass teenager, 16M, that I am, I have always found ways to satisfy my needs. My parents went out for the day, so I decided it was a good time to, masturbate. I find some bubble wrap and my genius brain thought of a great idea, which was great for about 20 minutes. So I grabbed the bubble wrap and rolled it up in a tube. I taped it pretty tight, grabbed the lotion, and got to work. As I'm about to climax, I hear a sound and brush it off as something unimportant. I finish my business and hear the front door opening. Oh God, my parents are home. I quickly stuff the bubble wrap somewhere and hide everything. Apparently they came home after finding out the store was closed. They asked me what I was doing and I say homework. It looked like they bought it. I proceed to go to my homework, for real this time, and I forget about the tube. About half an hour later, I hear my dad calling John Doe, made up name, "Get over here right now." I wonder what I did wrong and I see him holding the makeshift fleshlight I made. My heart drops. To make matters worse, in my panic, I forgot to clean it out. I can still white liquid inside and some on the floor. It turns out my dad was going to use that as packaging cushioning and I had used it to make a fleshlight. My parents yelled at me for an hour and all I could do was want to sink into the ground and die. I thought I would die from embarrassment. They ended with, "We'll talk about your consequence tomorrow." Help, what should I do to make this better? I don't think they're going to forget about my consequence completely, but how should I make this better? I need help ASAP. Today I messed up bringing a girl to guys' night. I then, 23M, matched with a girl, 21. We'll call her A on the infamous app. I planned on driving to go meet with her in a town about an hour away. This was okay because my boys and I, about 5 of us, planned on having dinner in that same town. I drive to pick up A and then go to lunch. We hit it off pretty good. The talking is easy, we're laughing and hitting it off okay. Nothing crazy. Dinner comes around. I'm still in the town and we are still together. My boy texts me that they are all at the brewery waiting. I kind of screwed up obviously and texted them, "Hey, like, is it alright if A comes with us?" At first they were like, "Oh come on man, but screw it, whatever." So I drive over, meet the guys, introduce A, and we start kicking off our guys' dinner. They are also hitting it off with A. All of us being military and being addicted to nicotine, I popped in an old nicotine pouch. She saw the other guys all take out the same nicotine brand and pop one in as well and then asked if she could have one. So I was like, what the heck, I saw her vaping but did warn her that these were stronger. She says yep, that's fine. And I was like, whatever, I'm the sober one anyway. So if she wants to get a little buzz and head high, why not? The guys and I start coking and joking and their food gets there, so they start eating. A little bit of time goes by when I notice A had gone to the bathroom about 3 times by now. Just being curious. I asked her if everything was okay. She said yes, but I saw that she was legitimately swaying on these little stool seats and could barely keep her bearings. Her eyes were pretty glossy and was visibly weak looking. So said, "Are you sure?" Her response was, "Well, I'm diabetic. And if you didn't know, nicotine lowers your blood sugar, so she was getting this low blood sugar and needed to boost it." So I run up and I asked the bar if they had any grenadine or like soda, and they didn't, which is stupid. But I asked if they had dessert and I asked for some brownies, and I told my buddies, "Hey, like, I just ordered some food. It'll be here in 10 minutes. Well, 45 minutes later, and still no brownies, and by this time A is big struggling. My 2 buddies ran across the street to the 7-Eleven and grabbed as many candies as they could and ran back and just dropped them on the table, and she started popping in the candies and she was obviously better, but it was insane. Now if you thought that was all, you'd be wrong. On the way home we are getting to know each other, asking the typical 20 Qs, and she hits me with the "I used to be in a cult in Canada. Tee. I was flabbergasted, but she continues and said, "My parents pretty much arranged my marriage, and when I were to have kids, A was still married and had 2 kids. But going through a divorce, her kids and husband were in California and she was in the state I was in for the meantime.